Trees run slow, they kiss the sand. I hold my camera steady hand. Dreams in pixels, skies expand. Jumping into the deep end. No map, no plan, just pretend. Lights on, the lens, we ascend. Oh yeah, we're jumping into the deep end. Eat it ignites the moon, my friend. It's like puzzle pieces blend. Follow his grow, the line won't bend.
Ryan here from PK Adventure
Can
Travel,
you hear
straight from the
ocean
Carnival
hum?
Vista.
Every
Big
view
news.
a drum. A drum. Jumping into the deep end. No map, no plan.
Not
just
bad.
pretend. Lights on, the lens, we ascend. Oh yeah, we're jumping into the deep end. Building nights, my friend. It's like puzzle pieces blend. Followers grow,
and
the line
gentlemen,
won't bend.
the show
Can you hear
is
the
about
ocean
to
hum?
start.
Every view a beat, a drum, a drum,
8,
a
7, 6, 5,
jumping into the deep end. No map, no plan, just pretend. Lights on, the lens, we ascend. Oh yeah, we're jumping into the deep end.
Hey everybody, welcome in. Hope everybody's having a good day, good evening. We got a good show tonight. We got Ryan from PK Adventures going to be letting us all in on a little insight on some things to help you grow your channels and how he some things that he thinks has done better for him and growing. So we're going to get into that here in just a little bit, but let's jump into chat and see who all's here. Say a few hellos first. Looks like the first one in was Blessing Through Connections. I appreciate you coming in. That was quarter to 5 earlier, so got in here early. Vicky, hey Vicky, I'm glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you're doing good. Sharon's here. Appreciate being here. Then we got Eddie Lugo Studios is in the house. Eddie, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in. And of course, we got our guest here. Ryan's in here. Let's see. Josie Ann's come in. Hey, Josie Ann, hope you're doing good. Along with Jaden. Hope everything's going good for you today, Jaden. We got Liz is here. Hey, Liz, hope you're doing good. See everybody saying hey to each other. We got Danny in here. Hey, Danny, glad you could be here. Hope you're doing good today. And hope you figured out your pool accessories that you were talking about in the chat earlier. Hope you were able to make your mind up on that. You know, I can't answer today because it is Taco Tuesday, so I can answer the question on that. It's tacos. That's the one. Taco. Let's see. Everybody's still saying hey. We got Najima Brown's here. Hey, Najima. Glad you could be here. Eddie's lurking in both channels. That's all right. That's what we like, for you to be lurking and jumping channels, and be a surfer. So Law's here. Hey Law, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in. Let's see. Everybody saying hey. Oh. You got Darian. Hey Darian, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming. Let's see, everybody saying hey. Got Homebody Trish. Glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you can get something out of the night show. Let's see here. Saying hey. Dan telling folks don't have the pool. So, all right, I think we're down to the bottom of the chat right now for people coming in. Everybody's still saying hey to each other. So we'll get ready and bring our star guest up here to the stage. Start getting some information from them.
Wait, who's coming? Someone's got information?
Yeah. Eddie said he left you a book in the camper.
Oh, okay.
You're right.
Well, according to Eddie, somehow I lost this magical bet when we were in Helen, and it's his camper now for some reason.
Right. So, are you doing all right today, Ryan? You doing pretty good?
Yes, I am doing well, sir. Thank you for inviting me, Sherman.
Oh yeah, you more than welcome. Like I said, I appreciate you being here. I know you got a lot of good insights that can help a lot of people, myself and others, regardless of how big their channel is, whether they're just starting out or been doing it for a little while.
Yep. Baby steps. You learn a lot along the way for sure.
That's right. Well, I think everybody's got to remember it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
that is the big thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're really on the cusp of just getting ready to hit that threshold, whether it's the 500 subs, the 3,000 hours, the 4,000 hours, or the 1,000 subs. It's like, got to remember, you're here to have fun, and it'll get there eventually. Eventually.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, I'm gonna ask everybody in the chat. Put in the chat, what you think your biggest struggles are with YouTube, to see if some of the things that we can talk about, we've got to talk about tonight, or maybe if nothing else, that may lead into something we can do on another show. But just put in the chat what you think your biggest struggles are with YouTube. Right? I think everybody's got struggles at different levels. So, see, I think if you got a few more people come in, let's got Mickey's Adventures. Hey, glad you could be here. And Eddie's talking about the camper.
There you go. See, I told you.
Yep.
His camper.
That's right.
I told him it could totally be his. He just needs to make the payments.
Well, so yeah, he would probably be a lot better if it was just paid for.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, Ryan, let's start with video ideas. What's your kind of go-to process for coming up with video ideas that you feel like will connect with the audience, to your audience specifically?
Right. I guess it boils down to, I think about what I want to watch is really what it boils down to. Like when I was someone who just actually watched stuff and didn't actually make videos, what did I gravitate to?
Right.
And I think that's one of the big things is, it doesn't really matter the content that you create. What comes out is, that you're having fun and you can speak to the content. And I guess that's just really what I do. Is what I have fun doing. I just want to share that with others. And, when you're your authentic self and you truly enjoy what you're doing, or what you're, hey, this is my best friend, I'm showing you what I did on my vacation kind of thing. Then I think that connects with someone on a personal level and gets them to watch the content. Right. So, in all honesty, my video ideas is, I'm going camping, I better film it. Let me just film having fun kind of thing. At least that's how it started. That's how it started, in all honesty. Right. So, then I guess the other thing is there are some targeted ideas for the audience as well. So once you get that content out and you start to find your niche, then there are going to be some things you're like, what? I'm getting a lot of good views, or I'm getting a lot of watch time on this type of content that I have. So now when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to focus on bringing more of that same type of content. Right. So that will sometimes dictate what I bring or what I set vacations for and things like that. I guess a big example right now is when I look at my camping content versus my cruise content, the cruise content gets the more watch hours and the more time as far as views and just overall watch hours. So I tend to try to do more cruises as I can, but things have gotten a little more expensive lately.
Right.
But that's kind of what I do. So I guess that would be my advice: is it doesn't really matter the content you're bringing as long as you're truly enjoying what you're doing, and you can relay that authentic emotion in your videos. You're going to find, a niche of people who are going to want to watch your hours. And then, as I said, as you move on, then you can start to fine tune it when you find of your group, what do they tend to watch more? And is it something you truly like doing? So now you're in a win-win situation. You're enjoying what you're doing, and you have kind of found what your audience likes, and they marry one another.
Yeah, that's right. It kind of goes back. I think it kind of goes back to that old saying that if you love what you do, you're never working.
Exactly.
So, would you, as a new creator, do you think they should kind of focus more on trendy topics or evergreen content that's going to stay relevant pretty much all the time?
Depends on what you're trying to chase. If you're trying to chase watch hours, then evergreen content is going to be your bread and butter, something that's continually being relevant, that will continue to bring views.
Right.
So an example of my evergreen content are ship tours.
Right.
I still have the Grandeur of the Sea, which was the very first ship tour I ever filmed when we started the channel, that still gets views today because people are interested in, hey, I'm getting ready to take this ship. I want to see what it looks like.
Right.
But if you're chasing, let's say, subs or an immediate watch hour bump that you need to get over the next hump, then yeah, your trends, or shocking news or whatnot would be the way to go. But that's going to be short-lived because you're only going to get the watch hours in that moment if it's, a current event kind of thing, versus someone continuing to come back to watch it for longevity. You might get your subs. So that's how you can actually get subs. If that's what you're chasing, find the hot trends, the keywords that people are searching in the now. And if you present your information in a, strong enough way, then people might sub to you on that. So it really depends on what you're chasing in the moment.
Right.
So a healthy mix of both is really the best thing to do.
Right. Maybe the trendy topics is to get some new subscribers, but then the evergreen content will keep them.
Exactly.
Let's see. I think we had a few things pop up here in the chat. Mickey's Adventure said watch hours. So I think you kind of just could have just addressed that, with, put more evergreen stuff out and stuff that'll be relevant, and hopefully that'll get you content up and keep your watch hours growing. Liz talking about, getting content that's evergreen, just the cruising that, y'all do, and, let everybody in on the secrets to the casino that y'all found.
Yep.
Let's see. Scheduling lives due to unpredictable time. Well, you got for me, and then I'll let Ryan answer what I've done. And, I was, before I did my first live, and this is episode 10. So it's been a little over, 2.5 months. I thought about it, looked at it, was going to do it. And that was my thing. Like, well, when am I going to do it? What's a good time? When are we going to have people to come in? When are we not? I don't want to have live when somebody else that's kind of in the same close community has got a live going on, because a lot, if it goes good, a lot of the people are going to be, watching their live. So I won't get them to my live. Well, now I know, because I do just like everybody else. A lot of times we're watching 2 and 3 and 4 lives at the same time, because everybody's doing them. And there's
Yep.
so many people now that are doing lives and have premieres and everything else. It's almost impossible to pick a time that nobody has got nothing going on or nobody does anything. So I think you just have to find out when the best time for you, when you've got a consistent time, a day a week, you know, whatever you want to do. If you're going to do them 2 days a month or whatever you want to do to start with, whatever's good for your personal schedule, just start doing and just start getting it out there, and people will come.
Yep, absolutely. That was my biggest thing too when we started. When we were first kind of testing the waters with lives, I tried on a Saturday, and that was just because it was most convenient. And then I was like, yeah, but Saturday people are out and about, so maybe it's not a good time. And so then I used Eddie's list. You know, Eddie,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Eddie, for your list. Because when we first started, I was like, okay, on a Wednesday between 6 and 7, there's really nobody else in the niche of people that I watch that's live. So I'm going to start there.
Right.
But then Wednesdays just didn't turn out to be the best timing for the whole group. And so I ended up moving them to Thursdays. And that was really after Scott moved Thirsty Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I kind of filled his slot. But, you know, there's still other channels. Like Bill still has his 7 o'clock on Thursdays as well. So people will come, and especially our community, I think, is really good because, like you said, we try to watch multiple people at the same time when at all possible.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, we'll have several screens on a computer, or somebody on a computer, and somebody on a tablet, somebody on the phone. I mean, this
exactly what we'll do. I'll have the iPad up, and then Mel will have her phone or something up and supporting in another channel. And yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do.
All right, Scott came in. Hey, Scott, glad you could be here. Appreciate it.
Which Scott is it? Is it the Scott? Is it that Scott, or is it?
well, he's working, so there's Scott.
Oh, okay, Scott.
Let's see if anybody else has got anything else that I see. I'll come in. Let's see.
Yeah, Liz watching 3 lives right now. I know. I kind of pull that Kevin thing. Like he said, you can have one screen and have like 3 or 4 windows open with the lives going and just pop around in them.
Yeah, that's right. It's something. Let's see. Explore doors. Hey, glad you can be here. Appreciate you coming in. Let's see. So it will be locked in at 8 Thursday. Okay. Let's see. Gotta get caught up here. Everybody saying hey. Yeah. Liz watching. I know one night I was watching like 3 or 4 lives, and Liz was in all the same ones. And she sent a picture, and it showed, you know, she had like 4 or 5 computers and monitors sitting there watching everybody. Let's see. Yeah. Eddie said right now he's got 4 screens open. So let's see. The bench oil's in. Hey, Tanya, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you're doing good tonight.
You got to answer it the right way. Weather.
Yeah.
Hopefully Scott just didn't get a screenshot of me doing that.
Oh yeah. Well, if he didn't, Danny may have, or either he'll go back and do the replay.
That's true. It'll be easy to go back.
I prefer to be present in one, but I feel guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like you miss something when you jump to another one. You're like, what did they say over here?
Right.
So
I was going to say, once YouTube finally is able to integrate comments from different platforms, man, that'll be the day.
Oh yeah, it'd be something. So, all right. Well, since we were talking about videos, let's talk a little bit about editing. What do you think's a big roadblock with editing for most creators? And what do you think is a good, or would you say to a new creator is a good editing software to start out with. Maybe not, a top of the line one to start with, but a good one to start out that they could do some good, decent videos with.
Mm-hmm. I think some of the roadblocks is a lot of the video editing software can be kind of daunting, when you're first hopping into it. Intimidating. I had to walk by wife here just a moment. But yes, it can be a little intimidating when you first get started. So don't let that dissuade you, because guess what? There's probably a YouTube video out there that'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
But that's definitely going to be one of the roadblocks, especially when you see some of these creators with all this just fantastic cinematography. It almost feels like you're watching a freaking movie. And, you have to also think, if you're doing this because it's a passion and it's not a full-time gig, and you're doing it for the fun of it, you're not going to be able to spend 10, 15 hours a day trying to do all these micro video editing and levitating things and all of this other stuff. Just have fun with it and start simple. As far as beginning tools, iMovie is a good one, and CapCut. Those are two that are fairly, simplistic, and unless CapCut's changed. I know when I first started using it, it still was free. So those are definitely good things to start with. Sorry, it's like right when we're doing a live, everybody and their brother in all of my Facebook groups want to talk at the same time. So I'm going through and muting everybody now.
All right.
There we go. Okay. So those would be good starter ones. Because you can still import your videos. You can still do, simple cuts and simple transitions. And that's really where you're going to want to start.
Right.
Once you start being like, okay, you know what, I've kind of graduated from this and I want to get a little more sophisticated, that's where you got to figure out what the next step is. I spent a ton of time in my prior life, as I like to say, before YouTube, editing videos for my daughter's high school marching band. And when I first started to do their social media stuff, it was a single camera that recorded.
Right.
And I basically just, used, I don't even remember, I think it was iMovie back then, to put it together. And then over the years, I was like, well, maybe I can do 2 cameras. Maybe I can do 3 cameras. Then I had to start figuring out, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? So the first step I did back then, before all of this, you got to pay every year for software, was Adobe Essentials, because it was like $100 for the program and you were done. So it was a little more sophisticated than CapCut or iMovie, but not as sophisticated as full-on Adobe Premiere and stuff like that.
Right.
So that was the next rank. And what I finally moved to now is, since I have a Mac, I use Final Cut Pro. And I weighed the difference between Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere. And honestly, since I had a Mac, watching a ton of videos on YouTube, they both did a similar thing. Yes, Adobe was more universal with third-party software that you could use if you're really starting to kick up your thing, but I wasn't going to that level. MacBook had a huge initial cost. It was like $400 to get Final Cut Pro up front, but it's one time. It comes with unlimited updates. It came with royalty-free sound effects and some movies and stuff like that within it as well. Plus, as needed, you could buy third-party things to enhance your abilities. Like I sunk some money in a stabilization tool that takes the video and stabilizes it and makes it easier. So I think your editing is going to come down to just repetitiveness, taking your time. And when you're like, man, I really want to do this because I saw someone do this, how do I do that? That's where you spend a little bit of your time researching YouTube, and then you'll learn it.
Right.
And that's just going to come with patience. So,
yeah, and I think, everybody, especially starting out, everybody wants to have a video like Ryan will put out or Scott will put out that's, like you said, is just a cinematic experience almost. But you're not going to do that starting out.
oh no.
So I'm not telling you not to put time and effort into your videos, but don't expect that you're going to make that video look like that to start out.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want a lot more bells and whistles in that video than you'll be able to get in there to look right, without buying other software and things like that you build it to over time. I know, that was one of, my things. To start with, there was really no editing. I just made a video and stuck it up there because I wasn't planning on everybody watching them. And then when I started doing them for people to watch, I just started and I was like, darn, I wish I could do this, because I was watching, Tony from Lolita Loca and Perry DJ and all those. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
My video don't look nothing like that.
Right.
I've played it and it still don't. And that's fine. I mean, I'm working on it and trying to progress a little bit all along. So just do what you can. The biggest thing is just get the content up there. That's the first thing, and then start working on it. And when you see little things happen in a video, you're like, well, darn, how'd they do that? I'd like to see that transition in mine. Then, like he said, more than likely there's a YouTube video about it.
Yep. Absolutely. And like, if you look at some of mine to begin with, like my first couple of videos, I probably had 100 gigs of video and I only came up with a 6.5 minute video because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just filming stuff. So, putting it together, and then it was taking me forever because I was learning to do everything. So that 6.5 minutes took me a week and a half to finally figure out how to put it together. So don't be afraid to have short videos. That's kind of your test stuff as you start to learn.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Leah said that she thinks the key to growth and consistency with live and videos. I agree. 100%. Consistency is, once you get folks used to a schedule, then they're used to it. But if you change that schedule and you stop doing it, they occupy that time that day somewhere else. Yeah. And so then you got to work to get them back. Denise is here. Hey, Denise, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in.
Denise.
Everybody's saying, hey.
Denise will be bull crapping tomorrow. I mean, crafting. I always mess that up.
Well, they do a little bit of both.
That's right. Bull crapping and bull crafting at the same time. Linda and Denise.
Bull crapping, water crafting.
There you go. Bull crap crafting.
Yeah. We keep on. We'll be able to change the name of their show. Let's see. Tanya said editing should only occur when you need to add special effects and transitions. She uses DaVinci for editing software.
There you go.
Yeah. I do think, especially the actual cruise videos, not necessarily the boat tours or an excursion tour or something like. Well, even you being on the excursion, I think it does do better if you just film it as they're with you. Don't trying to add stuff to you and everything else. Just so that it's like they're right there, on that excursion or cruise with you and getting that same experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. How much I edited out, Chris.
Yes, when we first started, that's why I had 100 gigs worth of data and had 6 minutes worth of usable content. Let's just say the PCAT crew all had little potty mouths occasionally.
Yeah. Let's see. Scott says, iMovie, been using it. So, yeah. Hey, Chris, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, thanks for coming in.
Let's see. Keisha's coming in. Hey, Keisha, glad you could be here.
Keisha.
Let's see. I like the term Vicky uses. Analyze.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, the cruise master is here, Mr. Bill. I think he's going to be on a cruise the rest of the year. I know the other day before he got on this one, he was talking about all the cruises he was, and I thought he run out of months. He's still talking about cruises.
Right.
Let's see here. Ron's made it in, the fam. Hey, Ron, glad y'all could be here. Appreciate you coming in. Let's see. That's why our channel's adult.
There you go. There you go.
You have an adult channel at night. Yep. And he says, exactly, BS and crafting.
That's right.
Hey, that's what you need to, Denise. That's what you need to call the ones when y'all do pop-ups at nighttime.
BS and crafting.
So, let's see. All right, I think that's about caught everybody up there. Leah says she uses Epidemic Sound. Do you use Epidemic?
I use Epidemic Sound as well. When I first started, though, it was the free YouTube stuff. So don't be afraid to start with that, because some of it, a lot of it's good there, but it definitely takes time for you to dig and dig and dig and dig to try to find some decent pieces.
Right.
Because again, you're not paying for it, so it's just what's there. But I eventually bit the bullet, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sink the $120 a year into Epidemic, because it's got such a wealth of different royalty-free music in there, plus sound effects.
Right.
And it really does. Sometimes that music really does make that video and that segment pop a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, you really need to write the right music to what's going on. You can't, if you got something real exciting and you got, symphony music playing, a lot of times it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. So what I pay right now is I've got the basic version, though. I'm just looking at one of the questions. So the basic is $119 a year, and that lets you monetize one channel per platform. And what I'm looking at moving to is the middle one, which is $204 a year. That lets you monetize 3 channels per platform, since I'm starting up my personal channel again.
Right.
But it also allows you to basically get a business license, if you will, for copyright. That way, once your channel gets to the level where you might start getting sponsorships from other companies who want to use your content to promote whatever you're promoting for them,
Right.
if you only have that basic Epidemic Sound, they're going to get a copyright strike. And so part of the agreement with starting to do that YouTube business and brand stuff is you're paying for the copyright for them to be able to use your content on their channel to promote the product that they basically are paying you to promote on your channel. So it's not too terrible. But again, you don't have to rush into that. Wait until you're starting to either you can sink your personal capital, because if you're looking to try to get this to be a little bit of a earner for you, flash cash, retirement money, then you're going to have to sink some money to eventually get it back.
Right.
But don't you don't have to jump to the Mercedes of channels. Just little steps. I started with syncing it into Epidemic Sound. That was other than my editing software, that was the next thing I invested in, because music can really help. Then I said, okay, let me go ahead and get Canva to really do good thumbnails now. And so I slowly but surely started adding a few things to take that next step. But I did it sparingly Really waited until I got to that good monetization to where I at least have enough coming in to cover the expenses that I have.
Yeah, that's another thing about why earlier when I said, starting out, you cannot make your videos like people who's been doing it a long time, because they've over time have got new software and increased software and that kind of stuff. And unless you got a boatload of money that you just want to throw away and dump right in the beginning, you're not gonna have the ability to do that kind of stuff. And you got to figure out what like you were saying, what do you want out of your channel? What do you want it to do? And that way you can gauge, how much money and time and effort and everything else you're going to put into it. It's fun, it's enjoyable, but it's also work. It takes a lot of time to do all that stuff. So
yeah, when we first started the channel, it was more like, oh, we go on vacations and let's just do a YouTube channel. And then Mel lit that fire under me, and she's like, wow, you really started making this a second job, didn't you? I was like, well, hell yeah, because now I'm thinking, I like what I'm doing. It wouldn't be bad to try to get to monetization to make a little bit of residuals to cover the expenses of still doing what we're wanting to do. And then maybe if the gods shine upon us, have enough to actually do some other stuff that maybe can pay for a little bit better vacation. So instead of just doing, a balcony, maybe I'll have enough money to do the yacht club or the, sanctuary class on Princess. But that's a whole lot of watch hours I need for that kind of stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Tony said, unless you're planning on doing commercial type videos, just being normal and yourself and unscripted is what a lot of people want to see. I kind of agree with that.
And I agree 100%. That's why I always like to say, be your authentic self, because if someone likes you for you, that's really who you want to support your channel. Right. You don't want to try to have this false persona that you're trying to relay on social media. Just be yourself. It's the easiest thing to do.
That's right. Because when you're acting, then you got to act every day, every video, every time you post something. And the people that are watching you and following you while you're doing that is fine. But the one day that you slip up and you actually be yourself and not that character, they're gone.
Yeah. So it's one of those, this is me. If you like me, yay. If not, there's that unsubscribe.
Yeah. Tony says she uses iMovie, to do quick videos on her phone. So that's the thing. Nice. But I kind of agree with Liz. I can't do everything on that little bitty screen on my phone.
Right? Yeah, I got my iPad specifically because Final Cut Pro was announcing an iPad version to be able to work. Little did I know that they were going to charge $50 a year for that. I'm like, what? So it's not part of the main package I bought? Come on. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to haul my laptop with me.
All right. Yeah. See, Zach's made it in. Hey, Zach, glad you could be here. Appreciate you coming in. Hope the kids weren't too tough on you today. You were talking about, the iMac and iPad. Have you always used Apple computers and products, or did you transition to that during the videos and YouTube?
It's a very good question. I started as a diehard PCer and constantly had PCs and regular laptops. However, those I used for some of my home movies and things like that. But by the time I started doing the video editing for my daughter's high school band, I had already transitioned to Mac.
Right.
Because I was getting tired of the PCs failing so quickly and going out of date so quickly. And then always trying to be on the lookout for viruses and sinking all this money into virus protection plans for multiple PCs. And back then everyone was like, oh, Macs have a built-in thing and you never get viruses. Oh, good. That'll be one less thing I have to worry about. And
Right.
that's when people were really starting to say, Macs, they're coming up. They're very trustworthy. They still are running 10 years later. And so I made the leap. The thing that was keeping me back was the cost. But finally I was like, you know what? If it'll last for 10 years, if it'll last for 6 years, that's better than every 2 years me buying a new PC because it's gotten so slow.
Right.
So I haven't looked back. I've had 2 MacBooks. I started with one, and that one didn't die on me. But as we were getting more and more into videos, I noticed that if you didn't have a lot of RAM, you really would have problems doing video edits. Because especially if you're doing multiple videos where you're doing different angles, and like that's the level I was with the marching band by the time I was done, is I'd have 5 different videos, sync them all together, and literally do cutscenes from different angles of the show. And to have basically 5 videos stacked on top of one another playing at the same time, holy moly. The memory was like, no, I can't do this. So it took forever trying to line stuff up. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to upgrade.
Yeah. Well, I'm still, I told you in the pre-show about my laptops and stuff. They're PCs. And, I was always an Android phone guy up until just a couple years. Well,
you didn't tell me that. We're done.
Hold on, let me finish. 2 years ago, I finally stepped up and got an iPhone.
Okay, we can still be friends.
So, because, I'll tell you, there was 2 reasons I got the iPhone, and both of them were cruise related. One was, because it does take a better picture and better video than the Android phones did. It's not a ton, but it is better. And the other thing was because of the iMessage feature, where when we were on a ship, we'd always have some type of internet so we could still iMessage, because both our kids had iPhones, so we could talk back and forth with them. So that was the 2 reasons. But I'm probably sometime in the near future, I'm gonna probably have to make a leap with a computer, and so I've been thinking and starting to look at Apple products for a computer, and I figured it would be a little easier with my iPhone transferring to it and that kind of thing too. So
that's definitely a plus, is the continuity, being able to go from iPad to Mac to iPhone all seamlessly.
Right.
The one thing, and so Liz, I'll tell you that yes, the dreaded Samsung Android has a better option for this, and that is, I like on the Samsung where you can switch while you're recording between your selfie camera and your other camera, and it's natively built into the Samsung. iPhones don't do that. I have to get a third-party app, but when I do that, the stabilization that's built into the iPhone camera doesn't work in the app. So it is just terrible as far as jerkiness and stuff like that if I don't have my gimbal. But that's the one thing I wish the iPhone would do, because sometimes as a vlogger, I mean, you want to talk to everyone, but then you're like, oh, let me show you this. And I want to flip it around. And their concept is, oh, if someone wants to do that, they'll just stop recording. I'm like, well, no, if I'm in the middle of talking and I'm in the heat of something, I don't want to stop and then try to pick up my train of thought again. I just want to keep talking.
Yeah, that's right. And that was, back July the 4th, we were at a fireworks demonstration. And I tried to do a little live with that. And that was the issue I run into, was trying to do it. Well, I started out with me, and I couldn't turn it around to the fireworks unless I turned the phone. Then I can't see what it's filming and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I actually ran into that very thing 2 weeks ago when we were in St. Augustine. We were doing a distillery tour. and I'm talking, and the person was like, yeah, give me the microphone, I'll talk too. So I'm talking a little bit, and then they just start their spiel right away. And so I'm like, wait. And so I had to turn it around, and I'm trying to do this to record off that because they're talking about the whiskey and pouring it in. I was like, man, I hope I can't even tell if that was center shot. I hope I got it.
Right. So, yeah, Tanya, Canva is great. I use Canva, do a lot of stuff with it. I've just recently started doing more little video segments of the videos because it's got some different effects and stickers and stuff like that you can add in there. So,
yeah. I started with the free version for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
And then went ahead and, dump some money in it for some of the premium stuff. And I use it not just for thumbnails, but like you said, I do green screen stuff in there for some of the subscribe pop-ups and a lot of stuff now.
Right.
Peachy,
Yeah.
what are you barking at?
Hey Shannon, you ain't late. We're just going good.
Yeah.
Glad you could be
Oh,
here.
she's barking at the thunder. My dog's barking at the thunder. Scare that mean old thunder away. You scared that mean old thunder away.
Call yourself a captain.
Wait, do I need to be a captain? Hang on. I can be a captain. Wait, there it is. Just for you, Scott.
Now we got Captain Ryan.
I'm Captain YouTube Growth wannabe.
Let's see here. Yeah. We're PC and Samsung.
Wow, Liz, I'm going to have to rethink a few things.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, that's that's what I've always done. That's what I've always used in Google, and so it's definitely a transition. So let's see. We talked about consistency, a while ago, and how important it was. And you did. I'm gonna give you a little plug here. Ryan did a members only show a couple days ago, and it was real good and real informative on making thumbnails. I heard that. Making thumbnails.
That was loud. Holy crap.
Thumbnails and scripts and everything. So, we're just touching the surface a little bit here tonight. But if you think about, becoming a member with Ryan, and because he's got some ideas for some more along that, more videos, members only videos along that lines. It's a lot of good information, and it'll help you get started, especially, and how to get it more organized and a better approach. But Ryan, what would you tell everybody? What do you think about the importance of YouTube, thumbnails, titles, and the big 3-letter word SEO?
Yes. They are all super important. Thumbnails, there's so many people out there that have similar content, the same content. So you're going to want your thumbnail to be engaging to be able to get that initial click. So the thumbnail is definitely important. And if you look at some of my earlier ones, I still need to go back. They're lame. They're literally a picture I took, like a picture that I just put text over that, and that's it. There was no depth and none of the high tech stuff that you can do now with Canva.
Right.
But making it attractive to catch people's eye is definitely a plus because you're looking at the thumbnails. Titles as well. And that one's a double-edged sword, whether or not you want to be direct or whether or not you're trying to do I went here and you'll not believe what happened next. I tell you, when that trend started, oh God, before I was an influencer myself, I was like, I'm so sick to death of these. Man walks across the street and you won't guess what happened. Bum stubbed his toe on a rock. You won't guess what happened next. But it depends on what kind of title you're getting. But the title is definitely going to be an important aspect. because, as you said, the 3-letter word SEO, the search engine, it's got to be able to pull the details out to put it in front of somebody to be able to click on in the first place. So, I mean, I think it's kind of like the trifecta, like a good tomato, onion, and pepper base for doing your Mexican tacos or something like that, you know. But you need all three, because again, if you're not optimizing keywords and phrases of what you're presenting, then the search engine won't be able to pick it up when someone is searching for something that you might be able to present them.
Right.
And then it's going to bring back hundreds of videos. So you need a engaging thumbnail that'll have someone inquisitive and want to click on your specific video. So that's just, you really need to, you need all three. You really need all three in today's YouTube world, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, to get it, so that it's picked up when people are searching, you got to have that SEO.
Mm-hmm.
And then that thumbnail has got to grab their attention. I think the titles will probably be third on mine, even though I know the title does play into SEO to a degree. But I would, making it so that it's going to be found by more people, but then having a thumbnail that grabs the attention.
Mm-hmm.
And, which, you gave some good information the other day on how to do that. But for the people that are here tonight,
non-members,
one suggestion I would have is, once you figure out the video you made, what it's going to be on, go on YouTube and search for that, and look and see what thumbnails and styles of thumbnails other people have of that topic, and then look and see how many people have watched it. It'll show you, how many views it's had, and pick one that's high. Don't copy it, but use that style to make it
inspiration. Use it for inspiration for your own. Yes,
that's right. It's how would, without going too deep, how would you recommend somebody to try to figure out a time of day or a day of week maybe to post a video?
Oh man, that's a really tough one. You have to dig into your analytics if you're not investing in another program that will do that for you, because you'll be able to see when the people watch you, what time of day do they watch you based on your analytics page. So if you haven't really dived into that, you guys need to dive into that part of it. But it also is something that you can train your audience as well. So if you're consistent when you post your content, then you can almost get your subs and your people who are watching your content to adjust to your schedule, because they know, hey, every single Friday, every single Saturday, this is when it comes out.
Right.
Now, I started on Fridays. It was 6 p.m. every single Friday. Now I bounce on Saturdays because I'm part of the Spotlight currently. And that helped me get watch hours and views and things like that. And it's a first come, first time from 8 to whenever, depending on how long everyone's video is. But I can guarantee you that usually I'm, between 8 and 9:30 on Saturdays is when my premieres will go out. So it's not that big of a swing to be too concerned. But if you're doing once a week and you're doing it on Tuesday at 12 p.m. and then you're doing it at 5 p.m. the next, Friday, and then the next week you're on a Wednesday, then now people are like guessing when you're going to show up. Right. And YouTube has got this incessant issue with, even though I sub And even though I say notify me of every dang thing that this channel does in their entire existence, half the time I don't get notifications that someone's posted a video or someone's doing a premiere unless I physically go hit notify me on the thumbnail.
Right.
So just getting the consistent time for yourself can almost train your audience when they're going to come watch your content.
Right. Yeah. And I've noticed the last several weeks really that I'm not getting even videos that I go and click on notify me. I'm not getting a lot of the notifications.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know. Yeah, because that, used to, I say used to, the best I could remember, I set it for notifications of the channel, and I was getting notifications all on. Then I noticed, I'm like, well, darn, I know Saturday Ryan was on. Why didn't I get a notification? And so then I started, going, and once people posted the thumbnails, hitting the notify me of that one. And that seemed to get a little better, but it's still some that, I just don't get them.
Yeah, they just slip through. It's funny because I'm, like I mentioned, as you get established, as you try to get to that monetization and can start to invest in new things, I recently invested in vidIQ. Just happened to be around the time that I was looking. They did this unfreaking believable sale, half price, as long as you don't change the level that you are on. So I only pay $7.50 a month for vidIQ.
Darn, that's good.
It's only for one channel, but that's all I really need it for is the PCATs, the one I'm focused on. And that tracks everything, the analytics for me a little bit better. And it's always funny because when I go in there, it's like, your audience is normally active from 9 a.m. to 11. Well, I'm like, yeah, because Go Live Together's on, Vicky's on, Eddie's on, Carnival Cruise Addicts is on, CME's on. Everyone's on around that time. I'm not going to post at that because they're all watching lives.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Liz, I'll agree. That is one thing that the Zoom was better on the Samsung than the iPhone. You zooming in on a picture or whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah. Mickey says the dual camera feature is coming out the iPhone 17. So
I'm gonna have to keep a look, but I have a 15, so I don't even have this paid off yet, so I'll have to wait.
Well, that's what I got. So 15 Pro, I think. But
yeah, I got the Pro Max because my eyes are getting really crappy, and so I needed a bigger screen.
That's what that is, but mine is paid off. But that's because I switched carriers. They were having a special. They pay your phone off if you came over.
All right, everyone, where is this picture taken? Oop, hang on.
Like that.
Yeah, post in the chat if you know where this picture's taken from. There you go. That's all you get.
Well, I'll see what everybody else says, and I'll tell you where I think it is. Let's see. See if anybody's got anything.
Oh, yeah, I bet you blessed through connections. Going from an 11 to a 16, the camera is definitely going to be heads and tails better. I mean, even I had the 13, and going from the 13 to the 15 had a tremendous upgrading camera, both zooming and quality.
Yeah. See. Oh, there's Uncle Dave. Hey, Uncle Dave, glad you can make it. Don't worry about being late. Hope everything's going good for you. Hope you ain't had no more power issues like you did the weekend.
Oh, I see somebody in the chat got the right answer. Viva la Rasta got it.
Well, I would have. That's what I was thinking it was too.
Yeah,
I thought it was Miami because it always that line right there always.
Yep, that's definitely Miami. That's off the back of, where was I? I want to say when we were doing a ship tour of the Icon. And I was like, oh, man, I can't not take this picture. This is beautiful.
All right. Yeah. So you got an iPhone 16, just got camera's amazing. Yep. So, all right. Well, we're getting close to wrapping up here. What would you tell somebody well, I guess let me ask you like this: if you were going to make a video like you were going to book a cruise,
Okay.
what would your itinerary be for your video? So how would you set it up? What do you think the important parts to making a video to draw attention to it to add to your growth to your channel?
Okay. So I guess you have to start with your destination, right? You got to figure out your niche. What are you going to create the content about? Man, you're going to have to think about, I guess your ports of call is another way. Like within your video, when you're going, what are going to be your main anchor points to keep people engaged throughout the video? Like for me, if I'm going, and sometimes you won't know until after you capture it, and then you create those anchor points because, you know, if you don't have a plan, hey, I'm going, like I'll say a good one is camping. You know, it's not like going to a cruise video where, okay, my anchors are the ports of call, and I can be like, hey, this is going to be the excursion, so I have this is what it's like on the ship, this is what it's like, and here are the major points in the port of call that I'm showing you guys about. So that's self-sufficient. But with camping, I don't know what I'm going to do until I get there. So it's creating it afterwards. But again, picking out your ideas on, okay, when I go to this place, I have to have some semblance of an idea of what I want, what story I want to tell. You know, and so keeping that in mind. And then, you know, schedule, you know, you're going to have that every day you're on a ship, when you need to get on, when you need to get off. So think of scheduling as really the part when you're going to post this video. Where is it going to be in your YouTube journey, in your repertoire? You know, so that's a big one. And keeping that consistency. So, you know, is it a video? If it's a single video, obviously that's a one thing. But if you're doing multiple videos of the same event, try to keep them, you know, chronological. Don't post it and then post something else because this video is going to be quicker to make, and then I'll work more on the, because now you're starting to break up that, and you might lose that engagement and lose that someone coming back. Oh, next week they're going to post the second half of this video or something like that. And then you cannot discount the maintenance of the ship, if you will, in your video. And we talked about SEO, kind of the ChatGPT thing to come up with stuff. But you also don't want to just post your video and then never look at it again. You know, there are some times where you can go back, and I've only done it once or twice, and I've seen a slight lift, so I need to do it more. But you can go back and change your thumbnail. You can go back and re-edit your title. You can re-edit your descriptions. So that's kind of your whole video creation, is figuring out where you're going to specialize, what's going to be the big draw in the video you're going to make, how are you going to post it? Is it a single video or is it multiple, and keeping it sequential? And then maintenance of that video. You don't want to just set it and forget it, unless it's doing well. Then if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But
well, that's good. Well, I think we're, like I said, we're at the wrap up time. It's been fun, and I think it's been real informative. I think I've gotten some things from it. I hope everybody else has. Is there anything that we hadn't talked about that you think would be real important for people to know or think about trying to grow their YouTube channel, especially for people that are starting out? You think there's anything that we hadn't talked about that you might want to throw out there?
I would say when you're first building your channel, support others more than you expect support in return. Because if you're authentic and you're spending the time making connection in other people's lives and supporting their channels, it does not go unnoticed in the community, for sure. And eventually that following is going to come to you. When I started, it was definitely a slow growth, but the community that we're in, that's where I connected to, Kevin from Tuber Chat, learning about, his Connect and Grow channels, Mayhem and Miracles, Lucy Warren's World, a lot of those are Connect and Grow chats where, they're on, they're live, they're each a different little niche on what they're talking about. But the meat and potatoes of those chats is to connect and grow within the chat with others. Right. And, as an up and coming channel, to get your watch hours, to get your subs, dedicate some of your time, not just on creating your videos and taking care of your house, but supporting others out there. And then people start seeing, oh, well, PK Travels is here. PK Travels is there. He's here. He's here, here. And all of a sudden, that community then starts to follow you, starts to share you out. And you will eventually get that reciprocated love, if you will, and continue to grow. And you might learn a thing or two. I mean, I can't tell you how many times. Now, I'm blessed because I work from home. So this is me on YouTube. This is me on my workstation. So I will have Kevin up here. And when I started, every single episode for like 6 months, when he was posting, I was at work, yet still connecting with him up on my side. Now, not everybody can dedicate 3 hours, 3 days a week to solely sit there and connect with other channels.
Right.
But trying to do it, a little bit at a time, it will definitely help you grow. Then you start to get noticed more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know the last couple shows Kevin's been doing, I've had something going on at the same time, and so I could get up there for a couple minutes, go do something there, a couple minutes, and so hopefully I know it rotates, every 3 days, so it ought to be getting off. I won't be as tied up or busy all the rest, so I can spend some more time over there because you're right, it is good, and those channels are great places. Somebody, in the beginning we talked about watch hours. Go to them channels and share playlists with people. That's how you're gonna get your watch hours boosted up a lot quicker.
Definitely. And if you guys are not familiar with playlists, that's you basically creating your own lists. Yeah. And I would say do a variety. And I know I got this off of Kevin. You want to do a variety because some people might be able to dedicate an hour. Some people could dedicate your entire playlist. So having a variety of, okay, this is an hour long, this is 3 hours long. That is a really good strategy to be able to connect. And I'm actually going to bring up one other thing that I'll post in the chat for everyone. But there's a free tool out there that lets you put in a playlist and get the length of that playlist. So what I do with a lot of mine is I will put in the title of the playlist how long it is. So it makes it easy when you're connecting with others for them to say, okay, well, if I watch this particular playlist, it's 3 hours long. If I look at this playlist, it's 15 hours long.
Right.
So I'm trying to find it. My goodness, where was it? Where is it?
Cheryl, Jeremy, glad y'all can make it. Appreciate y'all coming in.
There it is.
Exploradora just said they put in your channel into there to go back and watch playlists like Kevin does. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much. But there is the link then that you can go to. It's basically, and you could search YouTube playlist calculator as well. But basically, when you go to a channel or your own channel, you don't want to click on the play all, but if you click the thing that says view full playlist, and then grab that address from your bar and cut and paste it into that URL, it'll tell you how long it is.
Okay.
So that's a really good tool as well for you to be able to see, okay, can you do it, 3 hours? Okay, yeah, I can do 3 hours. Or, hey, this is 8 hours. I'll start it and play it overnight. And the watch hours. So,
You add in the chat link. Yeah, this is the link right here that he's talking about. It's in the chat.
I know in mine it's clickable, but I don't know if it's clickable in your, Sherman, because
Yeah, let's see.
since I posted it and not you, depending on who's a mod on your channel and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Danny or Leah, somebody that's in mine, if you'll put the link in there, I appreciate it.
Yeah. But that's definitely a good tool for building your playlists and being able to put the amount of time on there. It makes it a lot easier when you're swapping lists with others, because you generally want, if they're watching a 3-hour playlist, you want to watch a 3-hour playlist,
Right.
that kind of thing, and kind of reciprocate the amount of time they dedicate to your channel, try to dedicate that back to them.
Right. All right.
And that's okay, Explorador. Hopefully someone can grab it in Sherman's channel and stick that in there so it's actually clickable for you.
All right. Well, let's see here. I'll about time I get it typed in here, somebody will put it in there.
So we'll be able to get it in there. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool tool there to use.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a bunch of them. Like if you've got, a vacation that you went on and there's 5 or 6 different episodes, then, make yourself an episode for, or a playlist for that series, and then put
Right.
the watch hours. Oh my God, Eddie, I'm sorry. I sent him a picture because he was talking about me being FedEx. So I had ChatGPT AI me in a FedEx uniform. He sent it back to me as Captain FedEx. So he took the picture and enhanced it. It's freaking hilarious. Eddie, I am definitely taking this, and I'm gonna figure out a way to just add it to my restream and pull this up. Oh my God, that'll be hilarious. That'll be hilarious. I'm definitely gonna pull it up on Thursday somehow.
There you go. All right. Like I said, I think this was a fun show. It was very informative. I think some folks are getting some stuff out of it. And that's the whole idea behind the show, is to help each other and help each other grow. And I think by helping other people, like you said, you especially in the beginning, you've got to put out more than you're going to take in.
Yeah.
And so that's what we all need to do, is just try to help each other out. Kevin and other grow channels, Vicky, that's what they're doing. And Eddie's pushing out people all day long, every day. So everybody needs to give him a pat on the back, and because those people are what's going to help you and make your channel grow. You've got to have those connections, and you've got to be interacting with other people. So, Ryan, you got any last words you want to tell everybody about your starting up your personal channel again? What that's going to be like, and where they can go to find that?
Sure. So that one is called Ryan Parker Studios, and let me flip over to that. But basically, my personal channel started with a lot of drum and bugle corps stuff and personal vacations, college marching band, because I was big into the music back then. I was in drum and bugle corps march, played in the drum line. If you didn't know me, while Captain Billy's 5-paragraph captain of the color guard, drummer, leg stealing, FedEx delivery man, yada yada yada. But oh wait, I just posted your own link. Sorry, Sherman. I was like, wait, that's not my channel. And that's because
that's all right. I'll take it.
I posted the link to the live show that's on right now. But I guess I need to go into yours, right? And actually just
yeah.
But it's going to turn into a foodie channel now. So one of my other passions is going through smoking and grilling, and I love to cook. My mom made sure that she's like, you're not going to be some bachelor who goes and gets hot dogs at the 7-Eleven. And so uh, she taught me how to cook, and
Right.
I love it. And so that's kind of what my channel will be. I'll still bring some of the drum corps and stuff like that if I happen to go to one of those.
Right.
But if not, it's really going to be kind of a variety channel with a lot of fooding stuff. So one thing I'm working on now, I've actually already shot the video, and I'm probably going to try to edit it this weekend if it's raining, when we go camping.
Right.
But the first episode, I'll give everyone a teaser, is a 3-2-1 smoking method for St. Louis ribs. And they turned out awesome. So that'll be the first thing, is me walking through what that method is and how to do it. So
Do you have a pellet smoker, or what kind of smoker do you have?
I do have a pellet smoker now. I started out with a green egg, but that as a new smoker, trying to maintain constant heat with charcoal only, no.
Yep.
Then I had an electric smoker, like a 42 cubic Masterbuilt, which I love, and I wish I didn't sell it, but I ended up selling it because my regular grill needed to get replaced, and I ended up getting a Pit Boss half smoker, half grill.
Okay.
So I've got that now, but I wish I kept that electric one, because that would have been perfect to bring in the RV.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's what I got. Well, I don't have the split. I just got a Pit Boss smoker, the pellets, and I use somewhat basically the 3-2-1 method too, but a version of it anyway. So I'm interested to see how your version is. But you're right. I mean, you can just set your temperature and walk away.
Done.
It's good.
I mean, I've done a brisket where it's cooked for 17 hours, and I started it, before I went to bed, enough to get it to the first stage, and then wrapped it, and then let it slow cook to get up to temperature the rest of the night.
Right.
And by the next morning, I was like, this is the way to do it, rather than that was the thing that I'll kind of relay in the channel, is especially if you are going to start smoking or you like that kind of stuff, man, patience. Can't tell you how many things I ruined because I wanted it to be done at this time. And so if it wasn't done, I just turned up the heat to get it done, and ruined so many things to where it's like, we're going to eat when we freaking eat, and the meat thermometer is going to tell me when we're going to eat.
Right.
There is no time.
Yeah. When you're smoking, is everything is low and slow. I mean, that's it.
Yep.
If you want something you want to eat before that's over with, you better go get you a hamburger somewhere.
Exactly. But yeah, that'll be kind of what my personal channel, and that's just for fun, because when we camp and stuff like that, I do cook a lot, but it's not really the content that we put on the PCAT channel. That's more the overall experience than a 25-30 minute video on how to slow cook this or slow cook that, or that. So that just needs to be its own thing. So I figured that's what my personal channel will be, is kind of Chef Ryan. Mel gave me the idea when she did the edits for our video when we went to go visit Captain Billy up in the Panhandle. We did some camping up at a Splash RV resort, and that was one of her first major video edits. She did a couple of ship tours, but that was her first major just experience edit. And she was doing breakfast with Ryan and dinner with Ryan, and I'm like, that's kind of a cool concept. Maybe we'll turn that into the personal channel eventually. And so what? She said she's good for something. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. It'll be a lot of smoke stuff. It'll be regular grilling. And like I said, regular cooking too, because I got a lot of recipes. I mean, if I could have been a chef in a past life, I probably would have gone that route. I mean, I was such a foodie nerd that my mom, when we lived in Atlanta, the Atlanta Culinary Arts College that was there, did Saturday classes. I took a grilling class. I took a Creole class. I took a Tex-Mex class. I mean, So try to, bring some of that knowledge out as well.
Right. That's good. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I appreciate you coming up tonight. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Got some good information out of it. I hope others did. If anybody's got any questions about anything that we didn't go over and talk about, get in touch with me, or I'm sure you can get in touch with Ryan and he'll help you out. If I can't answer it, I'll call him or a few other people and get the answer.
That's right. We can find an answer somewhere. Hell, we'll YouTube the answer.
Yeah. Google on YouTube. We
ChatGPTs.
got it. Yeah. Shh. Don't talk about
I'm
it.
sorry. That's a member-only content.
All right, and I appreciate everybody coming in tonight and spending almost an hour and a half. It was an hour and 20 minutes with us tonight. We've gone over a little bit. I think Coach Cruz may be live right now. I don't remember anybody else right off the top of my head, but go over and check them out, or go back and watch some past videos of other people that are in the chat, or mine or Ryan's, anybody's. There's plenty of stuff to go and do. It's kind of like being on a cruise ship. There's always something you can go do.
That's right. Where's the soft serve ice cream?
Yeah. What time's the deli close?
That's right.
All right. Well, again, Ryan, I appreciate you coming in, and I reckon we'll get out of here and get ready for next time.
That'll work. Thank you for having me, Sherman. I appreciate it, sir.
All right. Appreciate it. Everybody, will have a good night. We'll see y'all around on YouTube channel somewhere.
That's right. I'll see you in the YouTube world.
Yep.
Well, that's all, folks. That's my line. Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's all. That's all, folks.
Can I go home now?